Welcome to episode 10 of the Bee Critics.
Why?
It's episode
Why
10,
do that?
2-month anniversary, so therefore it is time to sing. Because I don't know how there are 4 weeks in a month, but it takes 10 episodes to make 2 months. What kind of bullshit math is this? I don't accept it. I don't accept any of this. This reality is not one I want to be a part of.
It's easy.
It's not easy. There are 4 weeks.
In February.
February is the only month that matters.
Nothing's in February.
My brother's birthday is in February.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, everything's in February. Valentine's Day.
Nobody likes Valentine's Day.
People like Valentine's Day enough for there to be a stupid shitty movie that comes out every week about Valentine's Day.
Hey, I have that movie, Valentine's Day.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I just watched it not that long ago.
We wouldn't have My Bloody Valentine if there wasn't Valentine's Day.
That's right.
So, therefore, February is the most important month.
I think Valentine is a thing on its own besides Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Saint Valentine, whom Valentine's Day is named after and whom nobody would know about if there was not a holiday named after him.
This has gone on enough now. This is a minute and a half in, and all we've talked about is Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's clearly more interesting than in any of the movies that we're going to talk about.
No, it is not. These weren't bad.
Yeah, they weren't bad, but it wasn't an amazing week either.
It wasn't last week.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Right, last week was good. Looks like next week ain't going to be that great either, so don't keep your hopes up, everyone.
Anyway, on with it.
Right. So, starting off with our first movie, kind of a first in the Netflix realm of things, at least in terms of this podcast. It may have happened before, but it's a foreign movie distributed by Netflix. It's Italian, and it's based on a true story. You could argue that it's based on several hundred true stories, because it is based upon police brutality in Italy and people dying in prison. Specifically, one person dying in prison, Stefano Cucchi.
If you're worried about spoilers, it shows him dying in the first, 10 seconds of the movie, so
yeah,
you're supposed to know that's going to happen.
It says in, all of the promotional stuff that he was found dead in jail, so...
Which, I thought that was weird that they said that, because he doesn't... He's in most of the movie, so it's well... You'd expect him to die in, the first quarter of the movie.
Yeah, and that's maybe part of the problem of this movie, is that the vast majority of this movie is showing the main character in pain and moving around to various different jails and hospitals. Mm-hmm. And nothing really happens. It's a very plotting kind of movie. It's shot well and acted well, as far as I can tell. I don't really know what quality Italian acting looks like. This movie does default to the English dubs on Netflix, but if you have any kind of self-respect, you'll switch it to the original the original language and watch with subtitles, because let's face it, English dubs are generally
the worst
terrible.
Thing in the world.
They work in a handful of anime movies and series, but live action dubs are garbage.
It started and it was English, and I was like, what is this? It's supposed to be foreign. And then when I could finally see that their lips were not matching what they were saying, I was like, no!
None of this. Yeah, so the guy goes to jail on drug charges because, it had to be something minor like that.
Yeah.
The cops literally bug him because they think he's smoking a joint when he's just smoking a regular cigarette, and then they're like, "Oh, you do have drugs on you, though. We're taking you in." And it's really just a big middle finger to the justice system as a whole, particularly in good old Italy, because this kind of thing is not uncommon. It said at the end of the movie that 178 people died while in prison in 2009.
That was when this was based on.
Yeah, it was when this was. And from what I've heard, things haven't gotten super better. I mean, a little bit better, but no major change. So that's what it really is. It's a huge thing saying, hey, the justice system is a failure, and that's hardly exclusive to Italy. There are issues with the executive branches of pretty much every government. Nobody's got it perfect down pat.
I thought someone did. You told me.
I mean, Norway has figured out their judicial branch pretty well, but I'm sure that there's still problems with it. Norway's got great prisons and all, but I don't know what their cops are like.
Oh.
Because if you have the best prisons in the world, doesn't matter if your cops suck. And boy, did the cops in this movie ever suck. Beat the guy to within an inch of his life. Well, not really, but they beat him bad enough to where he got really badly hurt, and it just kind of goes from there. And I'm not going to say everything that happens, even though that's really all that does happen in this movie, though.
Well, yeah, the ending is right at the beginning, so you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Cops beat him. It goes untreated because he doesn't bother telling most people, because if he does, the cops will just come right back and then make his life more miserable. Exactly. And the one person that he does tell, the prison warden, just flat out does not believe him and is basically saying, you're full of shit. So, really a lose-lose situation there. Now, some viewers might say, oh, well, he had drugs, so he deserved it. It's like, no. Nobody should ever...
Who would say that?
There are a lot of very conservative people out there who believe that any kind of drug possession is, well, basically automatically makes you the equivalent of any other crime.
That attitude ties into our next movie. Put a pin in it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, look at all that blank space.
It's okay. This is the blank episode. This is the episode. I'm going to be honest with everybody listening. We are recording this a day late, so my equilibrium is all off.
He wasn't feeling it yesterday.
I was definitely not feeling it yesterday. It would have been a very unattractive episode to listen to. I would have sounded like the Crypt Keeper the entire time.
What does the Crypt Keeper sound like?
I can't do this.
What?
You can look it up later.
Do you even know, or are you just saying that?
I know, but I can't replicate it.
Well, describe it. Because I don't know what he sounds like.
He keeps crypts. What do you think he sounds like?
Like a ratty old man.
Something like that. Either way.
He's ugly.
Did we even say what the title of this movie was?
No. Well, I don't think so.
You probably figured it out from the title of the episode. This movie is called On My Skin.
Nice one.
Because he has skin and there's stuff on it.
I don't know why it's called that.
I don't either. Probably something artsy. Maybe it makes more sense within the context of the Italian language. I don't know.
Maybe.
Ooh. And yeah, it's just... There's not a whole lot to say about this movie because there's not a whole lot going on in it. There's not...
It's very slow.
Yeah, and it takes place over the course of a
out.
single week, so there's not, like, room for character development or anything, except for, he dies. Boy, how's that for character development?
No. There's character development with movies that are in, like, real time.
Oh.
You can't use the excuse that it's only a week.
I suppose, that's true. That's true. I apologize. After all, the hit show 24 has the greatest character development in the history of the world.
You've never even watched it.
I have watched 3 episodes of 24.
Wow. What, 10 years ago?
No,
Yeah.
only like 7.
Yeah, okay.
7, 6.
Hi.
Okay, small cat. So if nothing else, it's kind of interesting seeing a Netflix foreign film. It wasn't the most exciting Netflix foreign film ever, but it also wasn't a bad movie, so that gives you something to chew on. Gosh, there's nothing to say about this movie. It's... The guy is hurt, he dies. Gosh, I can just run in circles all night long saying the same 3 things, but...
That's pretty much it.
Yeah? there are some pretty cool atmospheric shots of him in the various prisons and how pathetic they all are, and like he's just in a concrete room with a folded out board for a bed and that's it, and it's like, dang, nice prison system, bro.
It shows some footage of the real person. What was his name?
Stefano.
Yeah.
Stefano Cucchi.
Shows some real footage at the end of the movie of his sister, like in some rally about him or something.
Yeah.
So you can see his actual picture, like his picture on his from the morgue, and how bad he looks.
He actually looked a lot like the actor, or vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, and they play some of the sound audio footage from his actual trial.
Oh, that's right.
So, just and actually,
it wasn't his trial. He never made it to trial. That was just his preliminary hearing, I think.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He didn't even make it all the way to an actual trial. Yeah, cops never even bothered to call his lawyer, so that's great.
Yeah, that's part of why he died, because he kept refusing treatment, because he said, I'll get treatment as soon as I can talk to my lawyer. And they just wouldn't give him his lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So he died.
Yep. And those failures happen all the time in justice systems around the world. Hey, on the bright side, though, that lady who shot the dude in his own apartment got fired and is facing manslaughter charges.
Good.
Although it should be up to murder charges.
Good. Psychopath.
Yeah, it's something at least. Yeah, it's a bleak movie.
That's pretty much all. There's nothing more. There's nothing more to say.
It's pretty humorless. It's bleak. A lot of gray. Gray is the color of this movie.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like, those things don't make it bad. That's what it is.
Right. It's not like Father of the Year, which I feel vindicated because I checked its Rotten Tomato score now and it's at 0%.
Nice.
Worst movie ever. But
okay.
That leads us right into our next movie, which hopefully I've got a little bit more to say about.
Well, there's a lot more going on.
Mm-hmm. This movie is Assassination Nation, which I can only imagine is named as such because of the concept of character assassination, because there's certainly not any actual professional assassination going on in this movie. This movie tells a number of messages, some of them maybe a little bit misled, and a lot of them very on the nose. It's not a subtle movie at all. If Sorry to Bother You told several messages and had you thinking about them and what it tried to tell you for a week, this movie beats you over the head with them and says, "This is the moral! Listen to the moral of the story! Can you see it? It's in front of you!"
Yeah, that's even how it ends.
Yeah, it really is. This movie was marketed as being a combination between Heathers and The Purge, and what they mean is the first half is literally Heathers and the second half is literally The Purge. It's a very drastic tonal shift halfway through the movie.
I liked it.
I honestly do not know what to think about this movie. I don't think there is any movie we've seen that I've been more on the fence about or more mixed about. There are things that I did like about it, and there are things that I really thought were not that great. Like about the fact that it advertises it as about being the four girls, but really only two of them ever do much of anything. The other two girls are just kind of inconsequentially there.
Yeah, but they're the friend group.
Yeah.
Four of them against the world.
But it's supposed to be more about that. I mean, heck, Bella Thorne's tiny character had more impact on the story than any of the other two friends did. And Bella Thorne's almost unnamed friend character, who didn't have to be a character.
What?
Yeah.
You're talking about the one who hits her.
Yeah.
I loved her. Do you know that's Judd Apatow's daughter?
No.
And, Leslie Mann.
But what I'm saying is, like, when you've already got four main characters and you're not doing anything with all four of them, wouldn't it be a better move to, like, make one of them interact with that character?
What character?
Bella Thorne's character?
No, because she got taken away, so they needed all 4 girls to be together.
But what's the point of having 4 girls if 2 of them are useless in the movie? They don't do anything.
Because it's a group of 4!
It
4
doesn't have to be a
girls!
group of 4! Why not just make it a duo?
Because 4 is better.
4 is not better if the 4 don't do anything.
Yes, it is.
So, the White Stripes would have been a better band if they had 2 more people in the band?
Well, they probably could have done more things.
But they would have been a
Live.
totally different band. They would have been a different
So?
band. They were great because of what they were. It's what you do with what you've got. It's not the number of what you've got. Quality over quantity.
I liked all the girls.
Well, I wish I could say the same, but I don't know enough about the other 2 to have an opinion about them either way.
Well, I liked them.
The protagonist, may I add. Gosh, never have I been more on the fence about wanting to feel sorry for a protagonist and disliking a protagonist so wholly as I have this character.
That's the point of the movie.
Yeah, I guess. It's like, man, terrible things are happening to you, but at the same time, holy shit, you're a brat. And brat is a very kind way of saying you're sexting a grown man with a family.
Do you know how many girls are probably doing that?
Too many.
It's not their fault.
It is their fault!
It's the man's fault!
So it's the girl's fault that she continues it and that she keeps it going and that she knowingly keeps it going and that she feels
17.
good about it.
She's like 17. Do you remember stupid things that you did when you were 17?
Yeah, I do. And it was my fault for every one of them that I did. It wasn't anybody else's fault.
You didn't have some predator trying to get you.
Ha, it's funny because the third movie is The Predator.
Yeah, it is.
The Predator does not appear in this movie.
She may have been stupid for doing that stuff, but you can't blame her. It's the dad's fault.
Yes, the dad was an absolute idiot for getting involved in the first place, but you can expect kids at that age to make smarter decisions.
No, not really.
Yeah, you can. It's not like I was ever...
You have a completely different life than this girl does, okay?
I'm aware of that. Small town, white boy, lower middle class family. I know. I just think she made a lot of really dumb decisions that made her not an incredibly sympathetic character. It's bad when her boyfriend, who, held her down... in the locker room, to find a birthmark on her, was one of the more level-headed characters in the movie.
What? He was a dick! Who the fuck holds someone down like that?
Let me continue. I didn't say he's a great guy and he was fantastic, but compared to every other character in the movie and the drastic things that they go to with far less done to them, that's why I say he was more level-headed than most other characters, which is one of my biggest problems with this movie, is everybody in this movie, barring the 2 other friends who don't do anything, are vast caricatures of their own stereotypes. None of the characters are played off subtly. The football players are total jock assholes. What a remarkable statement. What a unique character arc that they've got there. Or, there's one cop in the whole movie. Better make him a total asshole to everybody. It's it portrays everybody in the most negative possible light that it can. There's no good characters in this movie that you're rooting for.
Yeah, the principal.
The principal I did feel very bad for.
Principal's a victim.
He was definitely a victim. People are probably wondering, what are they victims of? What are you talking about?
You just have to see. We're not going to say everything that happens.
I can at least say the general, what sparks it all. I'm not going to say what's beyond that.
Why don't you at least say what the movie's even about? Because we have not done that.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Okay. Now that we've been ranting about it for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you have no idea what it is.
We're really good at this. basically, there is an anonymous hacker who gets into everybody's files, all their personal pictures, all of their texts, and everything, and unleashes them out into the community, causing mass chaos. And I've said things like this before, not on this podcast, but just in my own life. That is the worst part of the internet by far, is that people are only held to the standard of the worst. If people see you do something bad, they're going to hold you to that before anything else. If you say something that you weren't supposed to say, it doesn't matter anything else that you've done in your life that has positively impacted the world. People are going to know you for that one bad thing you said. And this movie has a lot of that of, oh, can you believe this was in this person's text? Clearly they're terrible. Or this one picture, they're horrible. They should die.
Yeah, basically.
Stuff like that. And, gosh... One of the incredibly in-your-face, unsubtle things that I was talking about is the fact that the town is called Salem, but it's not the Salem that you're thinking of. It's just an allegory for the Salem witch trials, and it's like, oh, wow, subtle. Really makes me think.
Yeah, but the whole movie, like, they know they're doing that. That's the point.
Yeah, it's such a beat-it-over-your-head movie. And there were a lot of things where I wasn't sure when it was trying to be funny and when it wasn't. Like at the very start when it shows all the trigger warnings, I wasn't sure if that was like legitimate or if it was trying to make fun of trigger warning culture. But then the way that it portrays all the characters makes me believe that it's not making fun of trigger warning culture.
It is making fun of it because of her voiceover and when she was talking about it and stuff.
Presumably, yeah, but you never know. Some people could take that seriously.
Yeah, some people like you.
On top of that, this is an R-rated movie that promised sexual content, and there was not one nipple in the whole movie.
You sound really creepy when you said that.
I was just wondering what you would say. But no, for all the trigger warnings that it had, I was expecting something far more over the top than what it was, in terms of the R rating.
Yeah, it kind of goes almost there, but doesn't.
Yeah, it especially in the second half, when the movie tries to play out like it's kind of like a grindhouse slasher film, but it never really delivers. Yeah, there's some blood, but nothing really horrific happens like it would in a slasher movie.
Are you forgetting the bathroom scene?
Yeah, the bathroom was pretty bloody. That was pretty good.
It was amazing.
That was pretty good, yeah. There was a solid amount of gush in that scene. But that was the one good scene where that promise was really fulfilled. Everything else was just kind of like, The fact that all 4 girls made it out, I think, was a missed opportunity. Because if you want to emulate that slasher thing, you gotta kill off a main character or 2.
Yeah, but that's why it ends the way it does.
Yeah, but it's kind of revealed in one of the epilogue scenes that they did survive due to a single line of dialogue.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so even...
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, they live. Oh no. So even when the movie does try to kind of throw you a curveball, it's like, but not that much of a curveball. We don't want to worry you.
Nobody ever wants to kill off main characters. It's very rare.
And it's a problem. That's what makes movies memorable. I mean, heck, that's why Game of Thrones became so memorable in its first season.
Yeah, I know.
Like, most shows have to take like 2 or 3 seasons to finally pick up steam. That was like episode 1. Boom! Everybody's hooked.
Yeah. You mean the ending of season 1?
Yeah.
You said episode 1.
I did say episode 1, because even in episode 1, everyone was hooked.
But that's the one where the dog dies. I can't watch that.
Dead dogs.
No.
Name an easier way to garner ire from your crowd.
I don't know what that means.
Find an easier way to get people all mad and stuff.
Oh. No, I wasn't mad. I was crying. I was sad.
No dogs die in Assassination Nation.
Thank God.
Or else there would have been a trigger warning for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
This movie is one of very few movies that made me feel old.
Oh, yeah, that's another problem. This was a super how do you do, fellow kids movie in terms of the writing and everything. Like, I get throwing in someone's verbally saying hashtag this like once in a movie as like a throwaway gag, but it's said multiple times in this movie. And it's got everybody typing incorrectly in all their texts, which as far as I know is kind of a dying art.
No, people still do that.
I see it way less often than I did back in the day, though.
Well, that's because your friends are older now. You don't see young people's texts.
I see young people on the Twitter.
You don't go on Twitter.
I do every now and then when somebody's like, check out this tweet, and then I'm reading it and it's like, oh. And then you see all the... yeah. And then you see all the...
Okay, you don't know.
I'm on the internet, so obviously I am subject to younger people using the internet. There's no avoiding it. There's not a separate internet that young people use.
Okay, besides what they're texting each other, like the whole feeling of the first half of the movie, and they're all in high school and going to parties and stuff and having sex in the bedroom of somebody's random house. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so old.
Yeah, brings you back to the days when you were just wild and crazy like that, right?
Yeah, sure. Said the only boy I've ever kissed.
Ah, loser.
I know!
Yeah, so it's weird being a movie that tries to appeal so hard to the kids, and then no kids can actually go and see it because it's rated R.
Yeah, that's stupid. Why do you have to be 18 to see a rated R movie?
Because of people like Tipper Gore.
Who?
Well, she wasn't responsible for the movie ratings. Al Gore's wife, who was all like, Tupac says the swear words on his CDs, and Eminem says the swear words on his CDs. We need to stop this, or find a way to make sure kids can't hear it.
She put into effect the parental advisory thing?
Yep.
What?
Yep. I believe she also played a big part in the ESRB for video games. Like
Rating
ETM,
them?
yeah.
Oh.
After Mortal Kombat came out.
You know, there are boobs in 16 Candles, and it was rated like PG when that came out.
Yeah, because that predated the PG-13 rating. And G was PG-13. PG-13 was R, and R was like unheard of, pretty much. I mean, PG was like R, and then R was... But it's funny, because there were also some movies that were rated R that didn't seem all that bad. It was, I don't know, it was really weird. It had to grow.
Have these been re-rated now for the times? Or are they still their original ratings? Look at it, still is!
Still PG, yep.
Nice.
I think some movies are re-rated. Like, I know Three Amigos, when that first came out, it was rated R, but now I think it's PG. It all just depends on, I think, who owns the rights and all that. Yeah, The Godfather's R. Surprise, surprise.
I was just checking. It was a long time ago. I don't know why that was the first one to pop into my head to check, but okay.
Well, just like how Gone with the Wind was controversial because they dared to say damn in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, scandalous.
With one of the most famous lines ever. I like that movie.
Quite frankly, I don't give a shit.
It's frankly, my dear.
I already botched the second half of the line too intentionally, so you know.
I don't think you did the first half intentionally, though.
Frankly, my dear, I don't care.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, that's R-rated. Don't watch this podcast if you're under 18. And actually, it's 17.
Watch.
Yeah, watch. Watch with your ears.
Stop warning people about their kids and themselves and stuff. People can do what they want.
I just don't like your kids.
Who are you talking to?
everybody.
That is so rude.
I'm not serious. It's okay. Assassination Nation, though. It seems like the kind of movie that stands a decent chance to be a cult classic with certain subcultures of people, but it is incredibly polarizing either way. Lots of people said they loved it. Lots of people said it was absolute garbage. It's
kind of an either or, just like last week. What did I say that about?
You have the list in front of you.
Mandy.
Yeah, Mandy. Yeah, except Mandy
Love it or you hate it.
Incredible, and Assassination Nation is not incredible.
But I liked it. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, well, it was just a little off to me. I'm not sure what it was, even though I've said multiple things about what it was. So, I guess I do know what it was, but, I mean, there were some pretty cool kind of experimental shots done here and there, but as a whole, it wasn't enough to make it movie of the year or anything. And obviously, when you see this many movies in a year, very few movies are going to qualify for movie of the year, so I don't know what I'm expecting.
We passed some mom and dad couple on our way out of the theater, and the credit music was playing loudly, and we were walking out, and she was like, "Oh, is it that bad? Are you guys walking out?" Like, no, it's just over.
It would have to be a truly horrendous movie for me to walk out. If I can make it through mile 22, I can make it through anything.
No, that was just boring. You should have picked something else.
I can't think of anything else.
Usually people walk out. People don't usually walk out of movies because they're bored. They walk out because they're disgusted.
And as far as I know, the house that Jack built isn't getting a theatrical release.
But people walked out of that, right?
Yeah, they walked out at the film festival.
Yeah.
Which is something, because normally you got super snobby, hoity-toity people at those film festivals who will watch anything.
Yeah, but you hear that all the time, that people walked out
Yeah.
during those.
Maybe because they're so snobby, they're walking out to make a statement. To say, I don't support this trash.
When's that coming out?
December.
So we can watch it in December.
Yeah, it's a perfect Christmas movie. Nothing
Nice.
like humans flayed alive and body parts being
Flayed.
turned into things.
What kind of things?
I've heard some horror stories about what the things that happen in that movie. Guy turns a boob into a wallet.
That's just funny.
It's not until you see it happen. You call me sick and creepy, man. Boob wallet. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I call you that, but I don't say that I'm not that.
Oh, okay.
And we're for different reasons.
Right. You're just a creep because you enjoy watching murder.
So.
Anything else that you want to say about Assassination Nation?
I liked all the girls. They were cute. Bill Skarsgård's in it.
Lily, the main character,
Did you even notice?
was definitely good looking. I knew Bill Skarsgård was in it.
You know who he is?
Yes, he's
All
it.
right, just checking.
He's Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Just checking.
He was the
because
boyfriend
you
in this
didn't
movie.
recognize Matthew McConaughey in his latest trailer.
The beach bum. Because Matthew McConaughey, Matthew McConaughey never has long hair.
Yes, he does. I've seen him in many movies that he has long hair.
I have not. So
But
sue
he's
me.
Matthew McConaughey. How do you not know who he is?
His facial structure was obscured by homeless man beard.
Nothing of the rest of him was. His voice, his body, his eyes.
Oh, sorry that I don't know Matthew McConaughey by the sultry shape of his body and the deep beauty of his eyes.
You just have face problems.
Face problems.
Yeah, like those people who get faces confused.
Face blindness.
Yeah, that's you. Slightly.
That's why I can't tell Jason Sudeikis and Ed Helms apart.
Yeah.
I'm way better than some people. I've met some people way worse with faces than me.
So have I, but you're pretty bad sometimes.
I am not that bad.
What'd you say about Lily?
I said she was real good looking.
She's very interesting looking.
Mm-hmm. And it all worked out.
I liked all the girls. I already said that.
Yeah, I know you liked all the girls.
All the guys in this movie were pretty much dicks.
Yeah, they portrayed pretty much all the guys as universally garbage cans. Like,
except one slightly redeeming himself.
Yeah.
He was still an ass in the beginning.
Right. It's like... Which, again, just kind of jumps back to my saying it portrays everyone in the most negative light possible, pretty much. Barring one or two characters.
Yeah. I still like it, though. I like these, yeah, it's definitely going to be a cult movie. I can tell.
Yeah, it's certainly not doing well in the box office right now, but...
Yeah, that's it.
They're probably going to lose money on it, but... Oh, well.
Yeah, that's it. Moving on. Next time, next movie. Guess what? We didn't see the other ones.
Yep. We said we were going to watch all the other Predator movies leading up to this one so we could have some context into it. But instead...
And we just didn't.
Yeah. Instead, what you get is insight into the Predator without rose-tinted glasses blocking the way. You get pure, unfiltered feelings about this movie without its predecessors clouding our judgment. That said, this movie was fucking stupid and really, really fun.
Yeah, it was.
It was so dumb. Okay, I might get spoilery with this one just because it's absurd. I'm going to tell you straight up. This movie is literally about a predator coming to Earth so he can steal an autistic kid's spine and weaponize autism.
He wanted to steal his spine?
Yeah, they take spinal fluid from the creatures that they harvest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so, yes, weaponized autism is the literal driving plot point of the new Predator. Who in their right mind would have ever thought that would be the case? And who in their right mind greenlit that as the primary plot? All you need to do is say, here's a Predator, here's a bunch of army goons, and everything dies, and
that's
boom.
That's too simple.
Yeah, that's all I want is too simple. I don't need magic kid who knows how to use alien technology because he's autistic. And the best part is, that's all completely lampshaded by other characters going like, oh, how did he get into that? How did he know how to use that? That's crazy. How did that happen? Like, the movie knows it's ridiculous.
Where did he come from?
Yeah, the movie doesn't even try to explain how it makes any sense. It's just like, oh, yep, that happened.
But it was funny because of that, and it was enjoyable to watch.
It's a movie that doesn't take itself seriously at all. I'm gonna say that if you're a fan of the original Predator movie, you're probably gonna want to stay away from this one.
You don't know that because you haven't seen it, so you don't know what it's like.
I have been reading the comments online, and everybody who loves the original hated this movie.
Oh. I think I've seen it, but I don't remember when or anything about it.
I know just enough about it to have gotten some of the references in this movie, such as the "Get to the Choppas" line.
Oh, of course you do. Of course you know just enough about it to make it sound like you've seen it.
Because
like everything else.
I maintain general awareness of pop culture around me.
You're a sneak.
I don't keep my ears entirely closed off to something all the time. I take in all the knowledge I can.
No, you go and sneak out there, just get a little bit of information so you can be Mr. Sneak.
Mr. Sneak.
Yeah, so you can sneak your way in other people's conversations. Oh, I know what that movie is. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I never claim to know things that I don't know. If someone...
You literally started watching football because you wanted to talk to people more at work.
And because football turns into meme magic regularly. Football is the only sport where the Super Bowl is pretty much determined by the quality of the memes that year.
What?
Whichever team gets memed on the hardest usually places last place. And then the other team that gets memed on second hardest goes on to win it all.
Bullying!
I'm fine with bullying multimillionaires.
That's rude. They have lives just like you.
Yeah.
This is the #1 movie this week.
Wow. I mean, there's nothing really else coming out, so I'm not super surprised.
I don't remember seeing a trailer for this, so I went in not knowing anything and not expecting anything. So I had a good time, just like when I saw The Spy Who Dumped Me. I was expecting nothing, so it was a good time.
We did see one of the Red Band trailers, which you clearly do not remember.
Yeah, I said I didn't remember.
No, and it was a bad trailer. The humor was just so off. And everything about it made me think, wow, this movie's gonna suck. And in a way, yeah, this movie did suck, but I still enjoyed watching it, regardless of how much it sucked.
Oh, the beginning CGI was so bad.
Yeah, it was
my gosh.
Well, it doesn't help that this movie is a reshot, recut, and re-edited mess. This whole movie was basically, like, ripped apart and redone halfway through.
Who said that?
Everybody. It's like a commonly known fact about this movie, that the production was miserable. Plus the whole controversy with Shane Black casting one of his pedophile friends, and then Olivia Munn being like, "I'm not working with that dude," and everybody else wouldn't say anything because they didn't want to lose their job.
What?
Yeah, Shane Black cast a straight up pedophile for a role in a scene, and
he's been removed now.
Yeah, his scene was eventually taken out because Olivia pressured the studio.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Some
nobody.
Random guy who doesn't even act, or
I mean, like maybe like small time acting credits, but not like a big name or anything.
Oh. Well, obviously, otherwise I would have heard about it.
Yeah, but
still, I could know him maybe.
You can look it up later if you're so inclined. But yeah, so it was a production nightmare for this whole movie. There were a lot of CGI scenes. Now, I've gone on record, I believe it was like the very first episode with Ant-Man, where I said I think people judge CGI a little bit unfairly a lot of the times, and usually CGI that looks fine, people say it sucks. But this movie did have a lot of really bad CGI.
Especially in the beginning, when you first see the Predator.
Yep.
And his eyes, oh my gosh, they were so bad!
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he's laying there and then his eyes open and they look like I colored them in with highlighter?
Actually, that first Predator was almost entirely practical effects.
I'm talking about when he's on the ground and then he opens his eyes. Mm-hmm. And they look like shit.
Either way, the first Predator overall looked better than the second bigger one, which was entirely CGI.
The ship in the beginning looked really bad too.
Yeah. It's just, man. A lot of this movie could have been better. But again, it was still fun. It was a really gory movie. There were a lot of heads flying and disemboweled bodies. And
they're trying to give the Predators depth now.
Which was... God. Okay, so again, getting into spoilery territory because it's so ridiculous that I have to talk about it. The reason that the bigger Predator was hunting the smaller Predator is because the Predator was bringing a tool to Earth to help humanity overcome
other predators.
But the Predator that brought the gift to Earth went on to still hunt and kill people anyway. Yeah. It was like, I love you guys, but not enough that I'm not gonna rip your heads off.
Oh, he goes to fucking town on them.
Like, I can understand his, like, laboratory massacre, but even in the very beginning, when he's attacking, it's like, dude...
This movie was like, if you like gore, it was gory. It was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting it because I thought it'd just be like kind of an action horror movie, you know, whatever, kind of boring. But there was so much blood and guts everywhere, and I was like, yes.
And the humor wound up being much better than the trailer let off as well because of the context. The trailer never gave context that all the jokes were being spouted off by a bunch of PTSD-induced soldiers. It's like, these guys are literally nuts. They are literally all loony off their rocker. So, and as such, the jokes wound up landing much better with that knowledge in mind because it's like, this guy thinks he's funny and he's not funny, and that automatically makes the joke funnier. There was a lot of comedy too, which, from what I know, military banter was a big part of what made the original Predator a classic. So there was a solid amount of military banter in this one. Lots of your mom jokes. Lots of funny things back and forth. One thing that really did not gel at all with this movie, I thought, was the score. The music felt way too, like, family sci-fi.
I don't remember a single thing about the music.
It was pretty forgettable as a whole, but the few times that I noticed it, I was like, this sounds like I'm watching, like, a Star Wars spinoff. When it should sound a little more menacing and...
There was a mom that walked by with her little girl. She brought her to the bathroom, of course, because kids have to go to the bathroom like 5 times during a movie. And they were walking by, and I was laughing because she was like 7.
I know. Getting them started early on those gory sci-fi.
Yeah, no judgment. I do that too. It's just funny because I don't see it that much.
I know, it is rare. But, yeah, gory movie, fun movie. With so much stupidity to it. God, gosh. The whole autism plot, I cannot believe that. That was the most off-the-wall thing I've ever seen any movie attempt. But otherwise, the supporting cast was good. Alfie Allen, Keegan-Michael Key, bunch of other classics. All just bantering back and forth. Although I do wish that Alfie Allen would have had some more banter. And yet he somehow kept kind of switching accents throughout the movie. I can never tell what he was really supposed to be.
I didn't notice that.
I did. I was like, what's going on with this dude here?
He'll never be anything but Theon to me.
He'll never be anything but Reek from now on.
No, it's sad.
I know. It's like the saddest character in that whole show.
Yeah, it's like he is like the equivalent of that's not true. I was gonna say he's like the equivalent of Jesse in Breaking Bad, but no, because Jesse is so nice and sweet, and Theon was an asshole.
Reek gets it way worse than Jesse does too.
Yeah, but I mean, physically, yeah, but
and he was literally emotionally broken to the point of not knowing his own name. Even emotionally, he got it worse.
But Jesse,
I know, poor Jesse, the sweetest guy, making his chili powder meth, calling everyone bitch.
Bitch.
No, Jesse really did grow as a character a lot, though. He was like a
I loved him.
different man compared from season 1 compared to last season.
Yeah, in a sad way.
Yeah. Breaking Bad, much better than The Predator. And yet again, I couldn't stop grinning throughout this whole movie because every new fancy decapitation, every new creative way for someone to die in a miserable, painful fashion,
spill their guts.
Yeah, literally spill their guts. It was like
there were a lot of guts in this one.
I know. It's like that's funny. That's ridiculous. The Predator dogs have garnered mixed reception.
Oh, I forgot about the dogs. Oh my gosh, there were Predator dogs in here.
One of them gets brutally blown up and killed from the inside out, and then the other one gets lobotomized. So that it just winds up being like a normal dog.
They first came on the screen and they were in the spaceship, and I saw something low to the ground and looked like the Predators, and I was like, is that a dog?
Yeah, that's how blatant this movie is. The Predator dogs have Predator braids. Get it? So you know that they're like the Predators. It's like, gosh, it's all so stupid. It's all so dumb.
But it's it's good movie.
Yeah, it was still enjoyable. Or like Olivia Munn, the mild-mannered scientist who, by the end of the movie, is performing Rambo-like feats of combat. They didn't even give the one-off line of, she was special forces. No, they didn't even bother to lampshade it. They're just like, no, why not? We'll give her a gun and we'll have her jump on predators' backs and stuff. Why not?
That's because action movies can't have any weak women anymore because the feminists will go nuts.
Wow. Bold statement from the woman.
Yeah, I can say it because I am a woman. You know what? Girls can be weak in movies sometimes because girls are weak sometimes. Some of them are. I am!
Just like men. I'd be useless in an action movie.
Yeah, he would. So there can be weak guys in movies too.
Thanks!
What? I just said I would too. We would be the first to die. Make no mistake.
Yeah, there are two types of people in this world. The kinds who would try to fight their way through a zombie apocalypse, and me, who would sneak my way across all the hordes and get the hell out of Dodge. I would actually survive.
No. You'd probably die.
No. It's the people who try to fight them who die.
Yeah, but people can try to sneak away too and they still die.
You're gonna die quicker. You're gonna die quicker if you run into a horde of them, though. Guns blazing, going.
You're gonna die regardless.
You have no faith in my sense of self-preservation.
No, I don't.
Hey, you're talking to the man who once made a ramen croissant because he was hungry. What kind of ingenuity does that take?
None. You could have just eaten both of them separately.
But I combined them because I'm a genius. And I've got those survival instincts.
Those were my croissants.
What? I knew how to find them and eat them.
My damn croissants!
Hurry up with my damn croissants! I am a god.
That's so funny.
Let's just sneak Kanye West lines into every episode.
Okay. It'll be a game.
How can we segue into a Kanye line?
Croissants.
Only rapper to name drop croissants. That's what makes him the GOAT.
It's so funny.
Alright, she's busted for the rest of the episode. There's no coming back from this.
No, I don't think I'm that far.
Oh, good,
it's
good.
Not like that other time. Wait, is that next week yet? Oh,
no,
it's not.
Nope, the week after. Okay. Inside jokes that no one knows. Wouldn't want to be you losers.
Wow. Insult our 2 listeners.
You're not losers. I love you all. I would never do anything to insult you except for the times I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else you want to say?
I was going to ask you the exact same thing.
I bet you were.
What about the Predator made you tick? What did you like the most?
Guts.
The guts, yeah. I figured the guts would probably be it.
The blood, the slashing, the...
Yeah. And it was such a... it was such a poorly paced movie, but in the opposite of most ways that we see, where most movies are way too slowly paced. And this movie was so fast paced. It was like, all right, next. It never stopped.
Next.
There was always something happening. So at least it never got boring. If you're bored during this movie, then wow. If you hate this movie, I can probably understand where you're coming from. There's a lot to hate about this movie, and yet there's still so much that just makes me grin.
I liked the dad.
The main character?
Yeah. He was cute.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't... So was Olivia Munn. She was cute, too. How's it feel?
You just said the girl in the other movie was hot. I can't say he's cute.
Never. No. Toxic masculinity here. You can say anyone is cute you want. I'm always unattractive, so no. Boom. Gotcha.
Boom. Roasted.
Boom. Self-roasted. Suicide by words.
The little boy in this movie was from the movie Room, and he did he had a lot more to work with in that movie than this one.
Yeah, this is one of those instances where I don't know if you can blame the actor for the poor performance because the role is just so what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, the only reason you can tell he's even autistic is because of, like, one scene. And then the rest, he's just kind of like a normal kid who happens to also be, like, a savant.
Yeah. Just kind of like a little geek.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, oh, crap, we better make him do something, like, borderline psychopathic.
Spectacular.
Yeah, so that you know he's autistic.
That was a funny scene.
This whole movie was just... What the heck was going on with this movie?
Yeah.
So, better than I thought it would be, but still probably trash.
But the original, I'm sure, is much better.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and watch that now at this point.
Then we can watch all of those, and then we can watch Alien vs. Predator.
I will fight anybody who says Alien vs. Predator movies are bad. Alien vs. Predator movies are the greatest.
You've seen them?
I've
more than one?
I've seen the first one, and I think there's two of them. Alien vs. Predator. Okay, yeah. Alien vs. Predator is the absolute, like, definition of taking a beloved franchise and shitting all over it, but I don't care. It's,
Wow, there's a lot of Alien versus movies.
And then I think only those first two are actual, like, xenomorphs.
No, because this one says AVP and this one is AVH, so I'm pretty sure those are the same.
Well, maybe.
I saw AVP, I think, when it came out, or maybe I'm thinking of Freddy versus Jason.
Fun fact, Alien vs. Predator started out as a video game.
Wow.
Before it was a movie. And it was a fantastic video game, too. Being able to... You got to play as the humans, the aliens, and the predators. And they were all played
pretty cool.
different. Yeah. They were fun.
Oops. Well...
That's, nearing the end of all our time here. We've said all the words that we have to say. There are no more words in the English dictionary that we could possibly say to you.
The predator's blood was disgusting.
The super bright fluorescent green blood.
It was like slime from Nickelodeon.
It was awesome. It was so great.
I thought it was going to be... Well, I didn't think this, but I was expecting maybe it would be like acid. Like, what does the aliens... Is it their spit or what?
Yeah, like the corrosive spit that they've got.
Yeah, I thought it would maybe be like that when he touches the blood in the beginning. And I was like, don't touch it! But it was fine. It was just disgusting bright green goo.
It was fun. So, to recap, On My Skin is a movie where nothing happens. And if you just really want to see gray for a couple hours, it's a movie. Assassination Nation will divide people, and it is very polarizing. Whether you love it or hate it is entirely up to the way that your special little brain works.
It's something different to go ahead and see.
It is different, yes. And then The Predator is... It's The Predator.
It's a bad action movie, but with all of the beautiful gore.
Yeah, it's fun enough to offset how bad it is, I think. But again, if you love the originals, you might not want to taint their memory with it. But that's why we're here to see it in its own context.
Yeah, just slip that in there like we planned it.
Exactly. Even though that was definitely calculated, planned. I'd tell you what we're seeing next week, but honestly, I think it's kind of up in the air, and nothing is really set in stone for next week, so next week is a mystery.
Kinda, yeah.
So as always,
the only thing we're seeing for sure, I think, is Hellfest.
Oh yeah. So that's gonna be something. It's kind of that 2-month span where there's gonna be like a different horror movie pretty much every week. Not every single week, but...
What did you just say?
I said it's that like 2-month span where there's gonna be just like a bunch of horror movies.
No, there's not that many.
More than there were in like the entire rest of our history doing this.
That's because it's Spooktober!
Yeah, that's why there's more, because the only other horror movie that we've seen is The Nun, and that was 9 episodes in.
Really? That's the only one we've done so far?
Yeah. Boom.
So bad.
I'm right. Boom. Roasted.
Boom. Roasted. Was Mandy technically a horror movie?
Yeah, Mandy was a horror movie. Absolutely.
There you go.
I definitely qualify Mandy as being horror. Not like scary horror, but like visceral horror.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Well, as always, thank you for listening. That is all the time that we have. We can't afford any more. Tune in next week for some more movies and some more banter, and we hope you'll have a wonderful day.